All right. So I have my template that I made yesterday, and then my clay. I already wedged this clay, just because you want to do that for a few minutes, so I didn't want you to have to sit and watch that. And after I wedged the clay a bit to work out any air bubbles, I started to put it down on the table and kind of spread it out with the palm of my hand, so it's approximately going to fit this template once I roll it. In class, we have wooden guides in the back that everyone used for their first slab, if you rolled out your slab in class.
Miss Mirandio, I don't know if you know, but you're on mute.
Oh. Thank you. Well, I did not, because my other thing's not on mute. Thank you for telling me before I got too far. Okay, let me do this again quickly. I wedged the clay, and I'm off mute now, right? Yep, okay. I wedged the clay before class just so you didn't have to watch me. You want to wedge the clay for the first few minutes, or like 2 minutes. Then I use the palm of my hand to spread out the clay so that it makes it easier to roll it. If you tried to roll it from a ball, it would be pretty difficult. I'm going to take my template, and this is probably good so that when I start to roll it, it should fit my template. I have magazines here so that you can find something at home that would be useful. You could always use a book if you're just careful with it and, you know, don't use sopping wet clay with a book on the side. In class we have guides, but I'm going to start to roll this out, and the idea behind this is the thickness can only go as far as the rolling pin hitting the magazine. So the thickness will be the thickness of the magazine. I'm putting all my body weight on this to roll it forward, so you're going to want to stand up. You can't really roll out a slab sitting down. You can see that I need to move these. That should be good. Yep. So I'm gonna move this over a little. Okay, so now I'm going to be cutting my slab. You could use something like a butter knife, would be perfect. But you're going to, you could even just trace lightly first. And then you could always use a ruler, or I'm even going to use just this magazine straight edge to cut this. So one thing you want to do right now, if you don't have a slip cup already made, put a piece of clay in that's golf ball size into a little cup. Add some water to it and start to break it up with your fingers so that by the time you're done rolling your slab, you have enough slip to work with to score and slip the seams. All right. So once you have your slab, and I'm not going to make this whole thing with you because I think you get the idea. I just want you to see how you can make a little indentation where you have folds. I have another fold here. Just going to lightly make a mark for that one. And then this part's important. So your clay is going to still be pretty flexible right now. Ideally, we'd have this at the leather hard stage if we had longer classes. Like in college, your art classes are 3 hours, so you could get it there. But what you can do is take a paper towel or even a plastic bag that you have from like the supermarket, and you can place it inside to keep that opening. So when it dries, it's still open, since we're not gonna have time to really get to the leather hard stage. Then I'm going to sort of shape it before I score and slip it. So if you plan to do any textures on it, you're gonna wanna first do this step where you're kind of doing like a dry fit of it. We're not scoring and slipping. We just wanna make sure it's gonna fit without any permanent attachments. So here I have it shaped, and then what I would do for texture, if I were gonna texture it, now that I have it, I would flip it over so that I can press down with the texture. Let's see what I have here. Say I'm gonna make a polka dot texture. I would add that now before I flip it over and put this in it, because then you're gonna be pressing down on the pocket and it's gonna be hard to keep the texture. It's gonna be hard to make the texture and keep the pocket puffy. You can just put it on that table. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So yeah, now I have my texture there that obviously I would work longer on. And then I can score and slip the seams. So make sure when you score and slip, you're going a little bit more than just through the surface. You want to really rough it up, but not go so far that it's gonna go through the slab. Okay, so make sure you score and slip the seams. After you do that, you want to make sure you blend the seams with your finger. If you want the seams to be visible after that, you can make it look visible by then like drawing in a little line. You see that? And obviously taking some time if you want it to look like there's a seam there. Okay, and spend time on the edges, really smoothing those out. You want to figure out where you want to place the hole so that you can hang it with a nail. I would say pencil thickness is a good size that you would want it, because these do shrink a little bit. I think this clay has like an 11% shrinkage rate. Air dry clay probably doesn't have much of a shrinkage rate, so you could probably do any size with air dry clay as long as you can get a nail through it, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna